I'd like to welcome everyone once again to our PAA Talks, and we are very excited this time around to be speaking with an individual who's actually live from Crete, and we're very excited to have with us today Klianthi Klithinu, who is the Director of Communications for the Kazantzakis Museum. And I'm going to have her speak about that in much more detail. I'd like to welcome you, Klianthi, and we're really excited to have you. This is, again, the PAA Talks is a series of conversations that we have brought to us by Crete Authentica in partnership with them, and we thank them for their support. And we like to share with our members and the greater world beyond that all the different kinds of programming and outstanding individuals that we have a chance to meet. And Klianthi and I actually had a chance to meet this summer when she conducted one of our summer activities in Crete, which was the Walking the Footsteps of Kazantzakis. And it was a phenomenal program. And again, we thank you for your time and effort. So we're going to dive right in. And why don't you just tell us a little bit of background about the museum and the mission of the museum?
Okay, great. So first of all, thank you for having us. I'm really excited to be here and to start talking about all things Kazantzakis and Nikos Kazantzakis Museum. So the Nikos Kazantzakis Museum is located in Myrtia, a small village close to Iraklion and close to Knossos. And it's dedicated to preserving and promoting the life of Nikos Kazantzakis, one of Greece's most profound literary voices, one of the most the most translated Greek writer of modern literature. And it was founded in 1983 by Yorgos Anemogiannis, a dedicated relative and friend of Nikos Kazantzakis, and it houses rare manuscripts, letters, audiovisual content, personal belongings, and all of that essentially tell the story of the man behind the myth. Our field of action is multifaceted, and the foundation's quality of work was actually honored recently with one of the highest rewards. After a long journey that started in 2018 and finished in 2022, the museum became the first private institution in Crete that was accredited by the Ministry of Culture, the first one in Crete and one of the few in Greece.
That's absolutely fantastic. And I can personally say that I did visit the museum this summer, and it's a must for anyone traveling to Crete. Super close to Iraklion, beautiful village, and you guys have done an outstanding job with the collection, and it really immerses you in the world of Kazantzakis, which is really incredible. I did notice on your website and in our discussions that you do outreach programs online for people to participate in. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah. So we worked hard to bring Kazantzakis, the Kazantzakis Museum and Kazantzakis legacy to the digital stage. So our online outreach is, of course, a work always in progress. But right now, our team focuses on two major projects. The first one is the virtual tours and educational programs that we offer. We offer virtual tours, both in Greek and English, for adults and groups and universities, and educational programs for schools, all designed and executed, of course, by our trained staff members. And the second very important project that now this month actually is finished finally, and we're very excited to share, is a big project, part of the European Leader Program, about Kazantzakis correspondence. So we're essentially talking about a big database that will always being renewed with 1,000 letters from the museum's archives that will finally reach the whole world. So we're talking about letters that we have in English, in German, in French, and in Greek that are being that have been transcribed, and as we speak are being uploaded to this database. And the user will be able to access it. It will be fully accessible to anyone through our website, kazantzaki.gr. And they can search by keywords to all of the letters and get a glimpse of unfiltered glimpse to Kazantzakis' creative process, to his troubles, to his thoughts about his writings, and of course, a very important aspect to his relationship with the vast net of connections that he maintained throughout his life. So this is a very beautiful step to bring Kazantzakis to the whole world, and the database will be available at the end of the month to our website. So it's a very new project of ours.
That's fantastic, and I love the global aspect of what you're talking about. You know, that it will reach anyone really throughout the world, and so we encourage anyone listening to please go and check it out, and I think you will all be pretty blown away by the information and the materials and the archives that you guys have assembled there. You know, we talk about, as we just noted, the sort of the worldwide impact of Kazantzakis. And why do you think, with the museum's opinion of why, you know, his words continue to make such a difference in the lives and of so many people, and his, you know, his message still endures so many years later?
Yeah. So this is a beautiful question, and I think it's somewhat personal to anybody that might be asked. I think that Kazantzakis speaks to the universal human struggle. So the struggle to find meaning, to transcend suffering, to embrace life in all its contradictions, which is it's a very difficult thing to do, and all of its responsibility, which is also a very, very difficult thing to do, especially for young people. I think it helps them a lot. So his words endure because they're also very deeply honest. He was very honest with himself, and the readers can see that, and he's very honest to his readers as well. He deeply observed his troubled times, and he constantly intellectually moved, flirting with ideas and never settling. And the journey is the important part, not the destination. So he constantly says that the struggle itself is what matters. So in every line you can see like a pulse of courage and hope, and almost a call to arms, you could say, to rise above fear and to live fully, which is also a very difficult thing to do, to live authentically. So that's why I think his words speak to so many people, and we get so many people at the museum every day who come and pay their respects to him and see the exhibition.
I think, yeah, that's absolutely spot on. How do you think, as we talk about sort of future generations and the importance of keeping the legacy of Kazantzakis always moving forward? You know, he's got such a diverse library, and you know, how do you think people can, you know, the importance of the diversity of his library and keeping that, you know, marrying that legacy with this next generation?
Yeah, I think first of all, the number one advice is to just read him, fall in love with him, hate him, come back to him, question him. That's what he would want people to do. Read him, but explore the words not just not as an obligation, but as as a journey. That's where the first magic is. So he is a difficult, intricate writer. He pairs a lot of different fields, philosophy, history, and very difficult philosophy as well. And he sort of makes his own philosophy. He made his own philosophy, but he is accessible to all levels of readers. All levels of readers can find something in his books. So we encourage young readers to engage with his words in ways that speak to them through book clubs, discussions, art, digital media, and we spread that message in the museum through our educational programs every single day. And on top of that, we organize events, festivals to make Kazantzakis accessible to all people, and of course our archives that contain over 50,000 pieces of information regarding Nikos Kazantzakis and his life and works are always open to anyone who wants to explore them. So there are many ways that you can explore his works as a young person who's interested in reading him. So I think that's where I would begin.
I agree with you. So one of the things that we had discussed when I had met you this summer and in the course of a few months is that as an organization, as the Pan-Cretan Association of America, who's very proud of their ancestors and obviously what we call the protopori, where we've all come from here in North America. One of the things that we had talked about is the starting a book club, working with the museum. And we are really thrilled and excited that we are going to be starting this book club. For the members who are listening to this podcast, we'll be sending you an email shortly having you sign up to participate in our book club. The Pan-Cretan will be purchasing the books, and that'll be our gift to our members to participate and to encourage the reading of Kazantzakis. And in our discussions, we had kind of gone around different titles and what books to start with. And I think we have come to in agreement that the first book that we're going to be reading is one that we may not all be familiar with. At least I know I wasn't familiar with it. It's called The Palaces of Knossos. And I believe it's accompanied by a book called written about Alexander the Great. I was wondering if you could give us just a short synopsis of the palaces and that sense of imagery of Crete that he wrote about in that book.
Okay, yes. So I think that the book club is a phenomenal idea, and the picking out at the Palaces of Knossos, the book is one of the best choices. It's a very good entry-level book, and it's a hidden gem of other books are very famous. That's not one of them. So it's a mythological retelling of Crete's ancient Minoan civilization, and the book follows the myth of Theseus's journey to Crete from Athens, and his struggle with the legendary labyrinth and of Knossos and the Minotaur. So the novel is a blend of Cretan Minoan lore, history, and philosophy. It is one of the two historical fiction books that Kazantzakis wrote for children, along with Alexander the Great. So he wrote two books, At the Palaces of Knossos and Alexander the Great. At the Palaces of Knossos was published in the 80s, but it was written around sometime in the 40s. And both of these novels are equally loved by children and adults. So ever present, you could say, in the book is the Cretan landscape. you can almost see the olive trees and the scorched soil, Cretan soil, along with the intricate Minon, the Knossos Palace. Very vivid descriptions. He was an amazing storyteller, and he knew it. He knew that he was talented. So one of the most striking things that I would love to point out is the description of the Minoan religious ceremony of Tavrokathapsia in the book. And there is a very famous fresco in Knossos, in the site. And when he saw that, Kazantzakis, when he visited Knossos, it really impacted him. So the Tavrokathapsia ceremony becomes one of the central symbols in his philosophy for the famous Cretan glance. That's also inspired by the Cretan moral concept of Levendia, which is a person that deals with troubles in a noble, prideful way. So essentially what Kazantzakis did is blend all of these things together at the Palaces of Knossos and all his other books. And you can see the man that faces the bull, exactly like the Tavrokathapsia, that included the bull leaping. So the athlete had to grab the bull by its horns and leap to its back. So the man is us, and the bull is the abyss, the face of death that looks us in the eyes. And Kazantzakis, what he does is advises us, as he has advised himself. He was very afraid of the end, of the abyss, of death coming, and he advised us to be levendes about it, to look at it without fear, to know it's coming, but look at it in a noble way. So I think that's one of the main takeaways of the book, and that's why I think it's such a good pick for the first for a first book in the PAA book club.
I absolutely love that. And what's really inspiring to me, and I hope to other listeners and people who may be watching us on YouTube, is we will be collaborating with you to actually have this kind of discussion online for our members once we determine the length of, for example, we may give readers a month or two to finish the book. And the concept is that we will actually be able to talk with Kleanthe and anyone else that she feels appropriate at the museum to have an open book discussion about that.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
What a gift to us. I have to say thank you, because your insight and really even just what you explained right now just blends conceptually what we may have known about Kazantzakis, but where he went with this book. And I'm really looking forward to that discussion, as I know many people will be. And that's an exciting opportunity for us. And we thank you in advance. I think the last thing I'd like to ask you is, we were tossing a number of books. Like, what do we start with? Do you start with Zorba the Greek? Do you start with Report to Greco, Kapitani Michalis? I mean, we can go on and on and on, right? With all the books, and we will eventually get around to all these books. I think this is going to be a really exciting program. One of the things I think that sticks out to a lot of young Cretans throughout North America is the spirit of Zorba, which, I think runs in almost all of our, as I call our the Gardiatis Kritis, for the diaspora and anywhere around the world. And would you say that as he wrote this character, this love of life is very emblematic of the people of Crete? And how would you guys respond to that, or in terms of the work and the research that you've done with the writings of Kazantzakis and his inspiration for that character?
Yeah. So I think Zorba is a cultural symbol of Crete and Greece. It is also the view that outsiders have for Greeks. So the dancing Zorba, the dancing Greek, the Sirtaki, all of this. It quickly became a symbol for Greece, inside of Greece, but also outside of Greece. So for Crete specifically, I believe that we have a special connection with actually another character from Kazantzakis' literary universe, a more broody, different sort of character, Captain Michalis from Freedom or Death. So that novel and its character, inspired by the real Captain Michalis, Kazantzakis' father, has been historically revered in Crete. It's very loved due to its Cretan historical context. So in Freedom or Death, Kazantzakis revives the Iraklion of his childhood, a Iraklion that's under Ottoman rule, and Cretans and Ottomans trying to live together in peace, but also Cretans that cannot stand to exist under the Ottoman rule, under any rule. So Cretans revolted against the Ottomans to banish them and to also become officially a part of the rest of Greece. So this is what Kazantzakis, this intricate system between Ottomans and Cretans, is what he grew up with in Iraklion. So that's what he explains in the novel. And due to that, and because Captain Michalis is a traditional character, a traditional Cretan character, that resonated deeply with Cretans. Zorba, on the other hand, is more of a universal icon, a symbol, a Greek icon, an icon for Greeks, a symbol of courage, of the courage to live life authentically. And the good and the bad, the troubles, the vices, all of it. And above all, Zorba is a symbol of action. Kazantzakis loved action. He loved action because he was an intellectual, so he found trouble with acting. And he loved people that were so action-oriented, like Zorba was, the real Zorba, Yorgos Zorbas. So Zorba reminds us essentially that life is not to be measured, but to be lived. So all of that, and that will to live life authentically, is something that's deeply human, and I think that's why it resonates so much. It gives you courage to do it. And actually, in 2026, the Nikos Kazantzakis Museum will be celebrating a very special thing. It's the 80 years since the first publication of Zorba the Greek in 2026. So honoring that, the museum will be organizing a festival full of celebrations in the village of Metia, in the heart of Nikos Kazantzakis, sometime in the summertime of 2026. And right now it is also hosting the Zorba the Greek Collectors Wine Competition, which is a very interesting idea in all of Greece, in which 14 of Crete's most renowned wineries have been challenged to create a collector's wine that commemorates the untamed character of Zorba. And 4 top-tier wine testers will announce the winner in January of 2026. So we have a lot of things to unpack when it comes to Zorba, but I think I will stop here. And yeah.
This first of all, thank you for all of that. We definitely want to work with you again this coming summer, and to be able to celebrate with all of you the 80th anniversary.
That would be amazing.
That is an incredible opportunity for our members. And I love the distinction between the freedom or death and
Mm,
Captain Michali and Zorba and really understanding that you are so spot on, when
mm,
living in North America, and
mm.
when you mention the word Zorba, it does resonate among Greeks
Yeah,
universally.
exactly.
And especially the music, which obviously we celebrated with Theodorakis this
Mm,
summer, the Sirtaki of his 100th anniversary.
mm,
And but I think I love that distinction, and again, to celebrate an anniversary with Zorba is something that we would all love to participate in.
mhm,
Um, I would like to mention on a personal note, I actually I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and years ago, through the work of Dr. Thanasis Maskaleras, who was a
mhm,
huge scholar of Kazantzakis, the first ever Kazantzakis chair was established at
mhm,
San Francisco State University. It now resides at UC Berkeley, and brings in the works of Kazantzakis and lecture series, which we're all very proud of here. But the other really exciting thing was years and years ago when the program first started, Eleni Kazantzakis came to San
mm.
Francisco, and I was back then Pancretan youth president. So we're going back quite a few years. Um, but I did get a chance to meet Eleni, and
Mm.
what a gift that
Wow,
was. Yeah, yeah. I truly feel very honored to have had that opportunity.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm looking through my own archives to try to find the photo
Mhm.
of
Yeah, that
someone
would be great.
yeah, to be able to share that with you guys. And so Cleante, I want to thank you for enlightening us about just a sliver of Kazantzakis
Yeah,
today. I know that we could spend hours and hours talking about
exactly.
this. That's the great opportunity with the book club, is we can dive so much
Mhm.
deeper into all the different works of Kazantzakis, and we're so excited to be working with you. Um, I want to thank everyone at the museum, everyone that you work with, that we had an opportunity to meet also in the fall of last year when the Kazantzakis Museum took part in the events with the Kazantzakis
Yeah.
Friends,
Mm.
organized by our former president, Manoli Belibasakis, and the Friends of Kazantzakis at the United Nations. And I was fortunate enough to participate in that as well. Um, this is really an honor to have you here. Tatapo,
Thank you so much. Thank you
ευχαριστώ
for
πάρα
having
πολύ και
us.
μιλάω και λίγο ελληνικά.
Παρακαλώ, καταπληκτικά. Thank you so much for having us. It's a great opportunity for the Nikos Kazantzakis Museum as well to work so closely and so nicely with the PAA and the PAA members. I'm very excited for what's to come and what we're planning. And it's talking about Kazantzakis is a never-ending conversation. So it keeps getting renewed. So I'm very excited and looking forward, me and the rest of the team, to work with you.
Well, thank you again. And to all of our listeners and viewers, again, this was PAA Talks brought to us by Crete Authentica. And we thank you, and we look forward to our next podcast. Thanks again. Have a wonderful